Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. 3 children dead and another in hospital following house fire in Westmoreland. Schools in session, but not without glitches. We have team coverage this afternoon. And later in sports, CWI first class season looks set to experience another change, which could see a reduction in games. I'm Shane Masters. Here are the details. The grief-stricken relatives of the children who perished in a house fire in Springfield, Westmoreland last evening are distraught. Now, 3 boys died in the blaze while their older sister, who suffered burns, is in critical condition at hospital. Herman Green reports.
After weeks of preparation for back to school, pain and grief in Springfield, Westmoreland.
I tell you the truth, the children them shouldn't be like this.
On Sunday, fire gutted the concrete and board house where 4 children lived with their father. After a frantic search, the remains of Jaden and Jordan Ling, both 7 years old, and Adranio Ling, who was 8 years old, were found in the rubbles. The boy's 14-year-old sister was critically wounded and is being treated in hospital. Their grandmother, Beverly Campbell, says she was at her home close by when she got the news.
The children them couldn't call me and say, "You asleep?" And I say, "Yes." And I come out and come and say, "You see down where is Bob?" That are the grandfather. And I say, "Inside that we come out and I say, see down properly, man, and hold on and so forth." I mean, you know. And them tell me, when them tell me, I don't know where me there. No, I'll barefoot, me out, I'm not even, no, whole night out gate out.
Initial reports suggest that the fire spread from a candle that was lit because of a power outage. The children's father reportedly left them at the house when the fire engulfed the building. However, acting DSP at the Westmoreland Fire Brigade, Raymond D'Souza, says they are still investigating.
We are still on the ground. Investigators are still here. We are going through thoroughly, and we have not yet underlined the cause. We will also work out a costing, and then we will give subsequent information.
Herman Green, TVJ News.
The old challenges of the Probable Road condition St. Thomas remained for the start of a new academic year. It led to residents blocking numerous sections of the roadway as early as 2 o'clock this morning. Here's Kalisha Williams with that report.
Thanks, O'Shane. I can tell you it's the first day of school in St. Thomas, but majority of the problems here are happening outside the classroom so far. The main issue here is the poor condition of the road. I'm at the licensed main road now, and as you can see behind me, the road is being cleared. Why? Persons blocked the main road this morning from as early as 2 o'clock. They used sand and other debris to block the main road. They're upset about the poor road conditions, and this is what one of the persons had to say.
I support it, man. Support it a lot. My boy, I rode bad, mash up on my vehicle. Jumping a patrol, man, and a long time, and them move like hands on it. Slow, bad, man. Slow.
So now that these children going to school, how you feel about them abandoned, you know?
Well, I'm not really abandoned, you know, them have to understand, you know. I feel them going to benefit too far. Taxi all want to carry them and run on the road. So I feel them going to benefit too.
It's also an issue too for taxi drivers. Just about 200 meters away from where the road is being cleared, the taxi drivers have parked their vehicles. They said they are not working today. They told me that they've had enough of the poor road conditions and it has been affecting their pockets.
So on the road for fix and them a give it too much promise, them a take with a fool. The first time we block the road and run, come scrape off the road like we are idiot. Seeing? And now we come back, them are going like we are idiot. So we have to come out this morning, come block it, have no school.
Some persons say why this morning when Pitney have to go back?
Because them, that's how we can hear, we can heard. So they can deal with it.
I understand that persons were delayed here for hours this morning, but the police, they acted quickly. They're also here now trying to navigate the traffic and ensure that residents remain calm and the road is cleared. But persons are upset, so I don't know what will happen as the day progresses. So I'm here in St. Thomas and I'll provide more updates as soon as they become available. It's back to you guys in studio.
Thanks, Kalisha. In the meantime, the roadblock in St. Thomas has affected the turnout of teachers and students at the lower school.
I think we have just about a third of our teacher population here just now. And this is a school with over 1,000 students. Based on what I am seeing, I think we have maybe somewhere 100 and some, a little over 100 up to 200 students. So it means that the roadblock has impacted the school severely. I don't know what later will bring, but we are hoping that this roadblock will come to a close so that school can continue.
Parents are also upset that residents decided to block the road on the first day of school.
The road is causing the problem, and today is my grandson's first school day. And in spite of everything, we are at school, and we are just hoping for the best throughout the day because children from near and far are so disappointed.
And over in Portland, the ongoing roadworks hampered the smooth start to the resumption of classes at the Fair Prospect High School. Our reporter Sandra Williams is on location and now reports.
I'm here at the Fair Prospect High School in Portland. We arrived minutes after 9 and students were still coming in, even though devotion was already in full swing. Now, principal of the institution, Godfrey Flemings, told us that the ongoing roadwork between the Folly Main Road and Boston Bay poses a major challenge to students getting to school. Therefore, less than half the school's population was here for the 8 a.m. start time.
Yes, there's a great deal of concern with students getting to school on time. I had to traverse the roads this morning, and it took me over an hour to do the 16 miles to get here to school. So there is indeed concern about students getting to school on time in the mornings.
This morning I talked to the taxi man and he said they're going to raise them fear. So it's going to be very rough. Because this morning it cost me, I take something to come over here this morning. It cost me nearly $600 for 2 hours.
If we do change the school hours and start a bit later, it is going to also have an effect on them when they are going back home in the evenings. So it's better for them to.
And we do apologize for that break in that story. Now, parents at the Port Maria Primary School in St. Mary were left disappointed when they arrived at school Monday morning and found out that one of its classrooms were not ready to accept children. Our reporter Jamelia Maitland is in the parish.
Classes are in session here at the Port Maria Primary School. However, earlier this morning, there was a small hiccup that caused a little bit of confusion. This entire classroom block was expected to be ready for learning come Monday morning. But when parents arrived, one of the classrooms is storing furniture. They say they were disappointed. Many of them also started removing or assisting the groundsman who was here to remove some of the furniture so that the classroom could be ready. But a decision was taken to have the students relocated to the library.
To be honest, I'm very disgruntled based on the condition of the classrooms. They're not ready. They're complete, especially for the grade 1 block. It's not ready. Yeah, I know some work was going on over the holiday period and so forth, but it should have been completed.
And over in St. Anne, the start of the new school year was marred with protests by parents. They are calling for the principal of the Cascade Primary and Infant School to tender her resignation. The parents told TVJ News that the principal of the institution has not been treating them with respect, hence their call. With all the challenges leading up to the reopening of school this year, several measures were outlined by the Education Ministry in an attempt to minimize the impact. Now, with teachers at the center of the education system, we are now joined by JTA President Lasonia Harrison for an update. Ms. Harrison, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
What have you been hearing from teachers across the island so far today?
Well, the reactions, and let me pause to greet your viewers and the hard-working members of our association and of the profession across the length and breadth of Jamaica. The reactions are mixed. They are coming in still, as you can appreciate. It's just midday, and so our administrators and our teachers on the ground are welcoming back our students to the teaching and learning space, not void of the challenges that are on the ground.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes, are you hearing me? I heard.
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, so I did say that the reaction.
Ms. Harrison, seems some challenge with your location.
I don't have a device on in my back at all, in my background, nothing except using the phone.
All right, it seems that we're having some issues with that story, with her connection there. And we'll get back to that just in a minute. The Manchester police are appealing to the public for help in locating a man who released a video threatening to abduct girls and women in Mandeville this morning. Now, the man released the video on social media site TikTok.
Promising all of you that lives in Mandeville, that on Monday when school returns, I will be taking all girl kids. I will be driving around and I will be taking your child. I will be taking all women and all girls.
Now, commanding officer for the Manchester Police, Superintendent Shane McCullough, says the police are working on intelligence but need the help of the public.
I am asking for the public's assistance in identifying this young man in this video that has been making the rounds and has gone viral on social media, threatening to abduct and harm both children and females. Anybody with any information as it relates to his identity or his whereabouts can contact the Mandeville Police at 962-2250. That is 962-2250, or police 119 emergency number 311, or the nearest police station.
And with an insight into the economy, here is Cody and Barrett with the Business Minute.
Industry and Commerce Minister Aubin Hill is welcoming the reduction in price announced by Restaurants of Jamaica, operators of KFC, for some of its products. In a statement on Friday, KFC disclosed that the rollback took effect last week and applies to chicken on the bone products. The prices of its other products remain unchanged. Mr. Hill says the price cut by KFC is appropriate, given a similar announcement issued last month by the Jamaica Broilers Group. At that time, the company announced that the prices for the best dressed chicken, grade A whole bird, and mixed parts would be reduced by $12.50 per kilo. And in global news, gas prices have soared on concerns over energy supplies after Russia announced it would not reopen its main gas pipeline to Europe. The Dutch month-ahead wholesale gas price, a benchmark for Europe, was up as much as 30% in early trading on Monday. The Nord Stream 1 pipeline was due to reopen on Saturday after being shut for 3 days. But Russia's state-owned energy firm, Gazprom, said it had found a leak. Europe has accused Russia of using gas supplies to blackmail European countries because of the Ukraine conflict, which Moscow denies. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
And it's now time for the top regional and international stories.
In regional news, Tropical Storm Earl, which is expected to become a hurricane later this week, is expected on Monday to dump up to 8 inches of rain across the Leeward Islands, as well as the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Forecasters say the storm is moving north-northwestward with little change in strength and was located 175 miles north of St. Thomas in the U.S. VI and 790 miles north of Bermuda. Slow strengthening is forecast over the next several days, and Earl could become a hurricane later this week. On the international scene, Liz Truss has won the Conservative Party leadership contest and will formally become British Prime Minister tomorrow. Truss and outgoing leader Boris Johnson will travel to Balmoral in Scotland on Tuesday in order to meet with Queen Elizabeth II as per Britain's unwritten constitution. The Queen must formally approve the formation of a new government led by Truss. Once those formalities are finished, Truss will head back to London and arrive in Downing Street. She will announce her new cabinet, which is likely to include many of her supporters during the contest. Then, on Wednesday, Truss will face the Prime Minister for questions for the first time.
It's an honour to be elected as leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party. I'd like to thank the 1922 Committee, the party chairman, and the Conservative Party for organising one of the longest job interviews in history. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank my family, my friends, my political colleagues, and all of those who helped on this campaign. I'm incredibly grateful for all of your support.
And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Cody-Ann Barrett.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Shane Masters. Join us at 7 for Prime Time News. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, have a good afternoon.